Good morning. This is USD 380 Superintendent Joel Bickford. I hope things are going well for you. This is my spring parent video. Hopefully everyone is doing well and we have a lot of great things happening in the district. I'm going to talk a little bit about those, and at the end, if there's questions, you can email me. But I'm going to cover a lot of information and I'll try to get to it in an organized fashion if I can. I'm going to be moving back and forth between my computer and here, so hopefully I'm not in the way of the screen and you all can see that. The first area I'd like to talk about is our district website. I have a district website. We had a QR code I held up to meet it. If you go to any of our school searches to our district website in the live feed, most of my information goes immediately into the live feed. Some of those things are my BICS picks, class of the week you get, the parent video will go with there. I did some read-alongs that will go in there. There's a lot of information that gets pushed through there. Also, both schools within our district, Frankfort and Centralia, will feed information to that. On the Centralia side, they'll have an orange sheet. Frankfort will have a red sheet. Those are going to be weekly announcements. Those should be available to most people on Fridays for the upcoming weeks. Those both will feed to my district website, so you could see them there if you're not sure where to look as well. So hopefully all the activities, all the information gets out to you, our patrons, in a timely way. That's what we want the most. There's some kudos I have to give. Both schools, Frankfort Centralia, Scholars Bowl teams did move to the state competition. Kudos to those teams. Also, our state basketball teams. Both schools had a basketball team qualify for the state tournament. We were fortunate to go out there and watch. I had a great time. I was happy with everyone out there, and kudos to the teams out there. It was just a wonderful experience and kind of kicked off into our spring break that was very nice. Also, before I forget, on our district website, I see up here, it'll also contain our job openings that we have within the district. And that's important too, so take a minute and look at those if you're interested, but that will be on our district website or either school as well. Three things that I want to talk about today. There will be a fourth add-on at the end, but there are three that I want to mention for sure. The first thing is our ESSER plan was approved. It took a long time to write the ESSER plan. It wasn't really what I was experienced in. We worked through it with the leadership team here. We took it to the faculty, saw it. We did some surveys with the parents. We did surveys with subgroups. However, we were allotted X amount of dollars to spend. We've allocated it to attack the gap. The big reasons for us, we know that the gap created by the pandemic, we saw a ripple or a dip in some of our learning. We want to attack that. Our two strategies were a summer school program or an after school program. We also wanted to do some things on a third program with an SEL. It's not going to involve all of you, but it will involve most of the staff. But it was approved, so we will be having some events. You will hear more about them. Hopefully they'll be great things, but I'm sure we'll pull them off. But now they're in the planning stages because our ESSER plan was approved by the state. The second thing is our projects we have. We have a lot of projects that will kick off in the summer. The first major project that we have is our track. That one I'm bringing up first because it may happen in the season. It may move some things with our track season. The last repair on the track was ineffective. We had a gap in it. In the name of student safety, we felt it was better to repair the track as soon as we could rather than try to run on it, wait for the end of the year, put people at risk. It didn't make sense to do it that way, so we opted to do it in the way that we could now, which bases us pushing into the weather, having an effect on those things. So we're doing the best we can with that, but it may affect some things. The other one is our gym floor. Our gym floor on the Frankfort side needs to be replaced. It gets sanded down. We want to get the wood floor. It'll be sanded down so far where we can't use it. Anyway, looking underneath, we have some issues with the subsurface. We knew about it back in 2016, and we knew that at some point we would have to repair probably the subsurface when we did the floor. In doing so, they're going to have to come in, which means we have to probably even open up a wall to get into the gymnasium. But it is going to be a big project that's kind of extensive and will require, there'll be a lot of activity around the school. There will be a lot of things going on. But those, we do have the money that was budgeted in, and so we do have the plan to do it, but it will take some time, and I want to let you guys know because you're going to see all that activity going on. So we know that. That's over on one side. Let me move this open. Here I've got an extra piece that I do not want there. Moving over to our new students, one of the last items we have over here. Our school board and myself have been involved with USD 113 we are getting some students from one of their buildings closing. The Wetmore building is closing. Wetmore students, some of them will come into USD 380. To do that, when a student transfers in, we enroll our student, but the funding behind them and the land, if the district chooses to let the land come into ours, basically their district loses land, our district gains land. They get smaller, we got bigger. That's what needs to be negotiated, is what land comes in, because that involves tax dollars. And we plan on those tax dollars in certain years and things like that. So that will be worked out. We know that we are going to meet with them and hash all that out. We may, in the meantime, have a memorandum of understanding before we can get everything hashed out about the land, because that will take time and legal descriptions and all of those things. A memorandum of understanding on who gets what as far as payment and where things go. That's the kind of stuff that we'll need to talk with the other district about and get those things worked out. But we do know that as far as busing, we go to the Wetmore area already. We do intend to transport students from that area into ours. So in effect, our district will grow. To what degree right now, we are not sure on those numbers, but we'll get those as soon as we can, and we'll get everything hashed out. Those are things they were meeting with their school board to discuss and talk about. That's where it's at in the process. The last item, USD 380, will be pursuing our softball and baseball for the spring of 2024. So if you see things out now, questionnaire surveys, looking for coaches, bus drivers, those kind of things, that's where that's coming from. That was a school board decision that came out of our last meeting. So that's going to be a change for some of us. Will it affect things? Sure, it will affect things. But that doesn't mean that it'll affect them in a negative way. So there's going to be a lot of things happening. I think it will generate a little bit of excitement. And I think there's a lot of great things happening in USD 380 right now. So I wanted to inform all of you of that and keep that in mind. So that'll affect both schools. And remember, USD 380, what's best for kids? I always like to use the tagline at the end of all my Bix Picks. Here's a little shot of our hallway in the Vermilion building. But what I want to say is spread the word. Tell others to come to the website, get to our district website, get our announcements. This is probably the biggest way to get announcements or get information out to you. As for me, I'm here in the district office. Most days you can catch me either in one of the two school buildings, or you can call the office if you need to get a hold of me. You can call here. You can also email me directly as well. Thank you, and signing off from USD 380, it's best for kids. Thank you.